This is a story about a choice that looks small but changed everything. In a village nestled between sun-scorched hills lived a young man named Elian. He was a potter, and his hands were clever, but his heart was impatient. He dreamed of his pots being carried to the farthest lands, admired in the courts of kings, but his work, though sturdy, was plain. One evening, as twilight bled across the sky, a stranger appeared, cloaked in shadows that the fading light could not pierce. He saw the hunger in Elian's eyes. "You wish for greatness," the stranger's voice rasped, like dry leaves skittering on stone. "I can give it to you. Your hands will shape clay like no other. Your name will be known." "What is the price?" Elian asked, his heart pounding. "Not gold, not years from your life," the stranger said. "Give me your laughter, the realkin that starts in your belly and escapes without thought." It seemed a small thing, a sound, Elian, thinking only of the glory to come, agreed. The next morning, his world had changed. The clay flowed under his touch like water. He crafted vases so fine you could see the light through them, and bowls so perfectly balanced they seemed to hum. Buyers came from everywhere, their pouches heavy with coin. Elian's workshop, once dusty and quiet, was now the heart of the village. But a strangeness began to creep in. When a child told a funny story, Elian's mouth would smile, but no sound would come out. He felt the shape of joy, but the feeling itself was a hollow echo. The people who bought his pots praised their perfection, but they never stayed long. They would hold the flawless vessels, a flicker of unease in their eyes, as if the pots were too cold to the touch. The birds that once sang in the tree outside his workshop fell silent whenever he was near. The wind seemed to whisper warnings he couldn't quite understand. Elian had everything he had ever wanted: fame, success, respect. But his nights were silent, and his days were colorless. He looked at his own hands, the source of his success, and felt they belonged to someone else. He had become a master craftsman, but he had forgotten the simple joy of mud squelching between his fingers. One day, an old woman, her face a map of wrinkles, came to his workshop. She didn't look at his shimmering new creations. Instead, she picked up a simple, lopsided cup he had made long ago, which he now used for water. "This one," she said, her voice warm. "It feels like a happy memory." In that moment, Elian understood. He had not sold a sound. He had sold the soul of his work. He smashed the perfect, lifeless pots. He let the dust settle in his grand workshop and went back to the riverbank, his feet sinking into the soft clay. He did not look for the stranger. He did not seek a magical cure. He simply began again. He dug the clay with his own hands. He felt the sun on his back and listened to the river's song. He worked slowly, patiently, and when he made a mistake, he did not despair. He worked the imperfection into the design. His first new pot was clumsy. The second was a little better. He was no longer a legend. He was just a potter, learning his craft. Slowly, the birds began to return to the tree. A child stumbled and fell near him, then looked up and giggled, and a small, quiet chuckle escaped Elian's lips. It was not the booming laugh he had lost, but it was real. It was his. He never became the most famous potter in the world, but those who owned one of his new pots knew they held something precious. They held the warmth of the sun, the patience of the earth, and the sound of a man who had learned to be whole again. And that is a story worth telling.